Welcome back to Night City. We've got a ton of Cyberpunk news to talk about today because, yes, Cyberpunk is all over the interwebs for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, we got to talk about a new reply from the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account about developer Pavel Sasko's comments about how Cyberpunk basically had technical limitations when it came to the police system. And, he sarcastically said something like, hey, Sonic the open world game isn't going to have a police system. Elden Ring isn't going to have a police system. So the official Sonic Twitter account caught wind of this, and they actually have a reply there. Plus, we're going to go over some huge milestones that Cyberpunk has reached in 2021, despite all of the controversies. But let's first of all start out with the Pavel Sasko story, shall we? So check this out right here. The headline says, Cyberpunk director explains why there aren't police chases in the game. And we have Cybershell who says this, excuse me, but how do you know that Elden Ring and the new Sonic game aren't going to have police chases? That's actually a good point. In Elden Ring, they probably wouldn't call them police, but maybe there is some sort of bounty wanted system in that game. You just don't know. And then, of course, the Sonic game, that could have a police system. They haven't confirmed that or not. But the Sonic official Twitter account posted this in response to the Cyberpunk devs. They go on to say this. Did they even watch our trailer? And of course you have Sonic's big green eye here, and in the reflection you have the cop car right there. I can't believe they caught wind of this story and actually commented on it on their official Twitter. I find this absolutely freaking hilarious. And then we have this comment here from the legendary Mudkip who says, I knew Sonic hated the police all along. He's doing some sort of substance to get those type of speech. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, we got to go over this one as well. But let me know what you think of the whole Sonic situation, Pavel Sasko's comments. I know that there was like a Reddit thread really supporting Pavel Sasko and the dev teams. And, they are working really hard behind the scenes, giving us a brand new update, patch 1.5. And then, of course, we've got the next gen update coming up here in 2022. But the whole situation, in my opinion, has been extremely entertaining for sure. All right, then we have this one. It says, despite everything, Cyberpunk was a Steam top seller and most played title in 2021. Turns out, folks, we're quietly riding into CD Projekt Red's Night City. Sound off in the comments if that was you, if you were the type that just kept your head down, didn't get into the controversy, and just really enjoyed the game despite the problems, despite the glitches that the game has had. Or if you've hopped on more recently and you've been enjoying it after the recent updates, because it is by far a much better experience than it was at launch. They have done, in my opinion, a great job updating the game despite a lot of the issues the game faced. So it's definitely on track to be something really, really special here, potentially in the next year or two. We'll see what happens with that. Let's go into this article a little bit more in depth. It goes on to say this: on Monday, PC giant Valve released a bunch of juicy info regarding what did well on its popular platform. There's a lot of stuff in there that you wouldn't expect, at least compared to popular media and community narratives. Battlefield 2042 is selling really well despite little hype, but perhaps I should expect that when it has an advertising campaign so pervasive, it has now replaced my nightly paralysis demon. Amazon MMO New World, Valheim, and Narco Blade Point are some nice, totally new inclusion in the top seller list as well. Then you've got the obligatory inclusions like Dota 2 and the completely unkillable GTA 5. Of course, that's going to still be on that list. But what about Cyberpunk? Let's get into that one right now. It says this: Cyberpunk did not make the platinum cut where those games reside, but it did make an appearance a stone throw down on the silver tier where games like Resident Evil Village live. What's worth noting is that top sellers doesn't denote numbers of copies, but rather revenue, something that takes into account copies, but also in-game transactions and DLC. And that's where GTA 5 will really take advantage and really jump ahead, of course, in any online games that are have battle pass or something like that. Now it says a game like Cyberpunk, which is single player and doesn't yet feature microtransactions or DLC, likely has a hard time stacking up against games that heavily feature online experiences. Many of those multiplayer games have entirely different business models, and they don't have all other stuff weighing them down. And that's, why I love single player games. You don't have all that noise and crazy crap like battle passes, microtransactions, and things like that. You have a more pure experience, and I think CD Projekt Red should really be careful about their approach towards multiplayer with their franchises in the future. But yeah, if we take a look at this list, here it is right here. Best of 2021 for Steam. And these are the New Year's top 100 games measured by gross revenue. You have the platinum crowd right here. Some impressive releases. As you could see, Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be in there. But Forza made the gold tier. Forza, I thought for sure would make platinum. It's such an amazing franchise. You have Red Dead Redemption 2 in this tier. And then silver is where Cyberpunk resides with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. You have it with Euro Truck Simulator, one of the best games ever made. Then we have Resident Evil Village. And then you can see Cyberpunk is down on the lower list next to Outriders right there. It's also in there with Halo Infinite as well. So that's definitely interesting. It shows that Cyberpunk can keep up with some major heavy competition, even though it's had major controversy. So please sound off. Let me know what you think of this. Do you think Cyberpunk should have hit the gold tier or not, or deserves to? Will it hit the gold tier in 2022? That's going to be the big question. There's going to be stiffer competition, in my opinion, in 2022 than we saw previously. So yeah, I think it's going to be a different story here for sure. All right, I think you guys know what time it is. It is time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So let's check out what my most recent video was about. It says Cyberpunk devs leave CD Projekt Red to work on new project. And this one looks really cool. It's called The Invincible, and you can see it right here. It's definitely a narrative-driven story experience, which again, I'm all for and I absolutely love. So let's see what you guys had to say about this one. It looks pretty sharp, by the way. We scroll down, we have Jashil Patel. Sorry if I mispronounce these names. He says, I just bought this game and have loved it. He's referring to Cyberpunk, I'm sure. It's disappointing to hear that modders have done more for the game than the studio. I really hope CD Projekt Red sorts these issues out, else we may never see a Witcher 3 equivalent ever. Yeah, I hear you on that one. The Ethereal Dreamer Art says, Mike Podsmith's world didn't deserve this. Very skeptical of CD Projekt Red. Only time will tell. CD Projekt Red management should have listened to devs and delayed it to 2022, preferably 2023. Sad, very sad. See, I'm the type of person that would have preferred that big time. I can wait it out. There's gonna be other game releases to entertain me, you know, in 2022. Even in 2021, there's been other stuff. So I am a lot more patient and can handle waiting a year or a year and a half or 2 years for a game that would be ending up as a AAA stellar experience. And we have this one from Onslaught. He says, no thanks, make Cyberpunk what it really should be. So he's saying, basically, in my opinion, hey, these guys should have stayed on board Cyberpunk and worked it out and, you know, made it into something special, like the No Man's Sky team, I guess. And then we have Tyrell Wilson, who says this, at this point, I'm keeping my expectations extremely low. I turned my copy in after I 100% the trophies back in April. It's obvious the devs were simply tired of working on this game, and I don't blame them. Whoa, we have a whole novel here. It says, this is why getting the game right the first time when it releases is so important. All that hype for 7 years, and this is what we get. The game isn't terrible, it's good, but the problem is that it had, a lot more potential to be something better. To me, the game is what it is, and we shouldn't get excited because the story-wise, the devs wrote themselves into a corner by making Johnny so integral to the story where it would be hard to create any DLC without him. I think they're gonna have to go with like an entirely new character. Even V will have to be, of course, a new character. It says, also, since V is doomed to die in every ending, basically, and all the endings are set up to be the end of their story, either V leaves Night City forever for the slim chance of getting a cure with the Avocados, accepts death by shooting themselves, rejecting Arasaka's deal, and going back to die or giving Johnny your body. Only ending that feels like it has DLC potential is when V chooses to raid the casino or an epilogue. Hopefully this isn't spoiled. Boy. Hopefully you don't have the game spoiled by that comment. But anyway, we have Ascendant Stoic who says the following, I'll believe their promises when the game actually comes out. Also very unfortunate choice of name for the game. A lot of people might confuse it with comic animation show Invincible when recently released. You know what? I thought the same thing. Thank you. You know, I think a lot of people might think that that this game is attached to the Amazon series. That's exactly what I thought, and that is so confusing to me, and I don't know. I'm surprised they chose the name Invincible. Maybe they need to consider a rename, because I think there's going to be some confusion no matter what. I mean, some of the art style, in my opinion, seems somewhat similar in the coloring, like the 2D stuff, so yeah. Anyway, we'll see what they do and decide with the actual name. Maybe they'll have to change that name, but yeah. There it is, guys. Cyberpunk 2077 news. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smack that like button if you did, but stay tuned for more. And yeah, I got you guys covered on all things Cyberpunk, Starfield, and open world gaming goodness. And I will see you all next time. Take care.